Today's lesson is arithmetic and geometric sequences. So we are going to review some stuff and then extend it from Algebra 1 and Algebra 2. So my learning goal for today is I can determine the nth term of an arithmetic or geometric sequence, and I can determine the common difference or the arithmetic for an arithmetic sequence and the common ratio for a geometric sequence. Okay, so to review, a to the n means this is my nth term. So this is the nth term. A to the 1 is the first term. D is the common difference. And n is the number of terms. Okay, so let's find the common difference and the formula for the nth term of the following arithmetic sequence. Okay, so I know the first term is A1, second term is A2, third term is A3, fourth term, and so on. So this is a to the nth term. So to find the common difference D, I'm going to take any term minus the previous term. Okay, so the order matters. So I'm going to find D. So I'm going to take D is going to be minus 3 minus 2, which is minus 5. If I wanted to take D as negative 8, the previous term is negative 3. So I'm going to subtract negative 3. So that would really be negative 8 plus 3, which is negative 5. So it doesn't matter. I can take any term and subtract the previous term. Okay, so for my nth term, I'm going to substitute into the equation. So a to the n equals the first term, which is 2, plus the common difference, which is negative 5, times n minus 1. So it's going to be n minus 1. So I'm going to distribute this negative 5 across these two terms. So I get a to the n equals 2 minus 5n plus 5. I'm going to combine like terms, and I'm going to say 7 minus 5n. A lot of times we write the variable first, but this one, since the variable is negative, we usually write the consonant first. But the order actually doesn't matter. All right, this one's asking me to find the 36th term. So I want to know, what is the 36th term? So again, I'm going to find the common difference first. So D is 4 minus 10, which is negative 6. So my 36th term is the first term, 10, plus the common difference, negative 6, and n minus 1, so 36 minus 1 is 35. So the 36th term is negative 200. Okay, let's try the next example. Given the fourth term is 20 and the 13th term is 65, find the 20th term. So this is a systems equation. So I need two equations and two unknowns, and I can eliminate, substitute, or graph. So I'm going to use elimination here. So I'm going to write two equations. So the fourth term is the first term plus d times n minus 1. So n is 4 minus 1 is 3. And I know that 20 term equals 20. And the 13th term is the first term, a to the 1 plus d times 13 minus 1 is 12. And I know that term equals 65. So when I write two equations, that means I have two unknowns, which are a1, the first term, and d, the common difference. So I'm going to eliminate a1. So I'm going to multiply the first equation by -1. So this is going to be negative a1 minus d times 3 equals -20. Okay, so I'm going to add these two equations together. By adding my two equations together, a1 totals 0. So I have 12d plus -3d, which is 9d equals 45. I'm going to divide both sides by 9, so I get d equals 5. Now I can substitute d equals 5 into either of my original equations. So I'm going to just substitute, into d. Substitute it into the first equation. And I'm going to do that so I can solve for the first term. So I have a1 plus d is 5 times 3 is 15 equals 20. So I know a1 is 5. So now I can find the 20th term. So the 20th term is the first term, 5, plus the common difference of 5 times n minus 1. So that's 5 times 19. So my 20th term is 100. Okay, so I'm using systems of equations. I'm writing two equations. I have two variables, and I'm using the elimination method. All right, number 4. Insert 3 arithmetic means between 9 and 29. So I'm going to take the number 9, and I'm going to insert 3 arithmetic means. So 9 is my first term. Here's my second term, my third term, my fourth term. So this is 29 is my fifth term. So I know I can write an equation to say my fifth term is the first term, which is 9, plus my common difference times n minus 1. So 5 minus 1 is 4, and I know that term equals 29. So I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. So I get 4d equals 20. Divide both sides by 4, and I get d equals 5. So I'm going to take 9 and add 5, which is 14. I'm going to add 5 and get 19. And I'm going to add 5 and get 24. And if I add 5 more, I end up with 29. So here's my 3 arithmetic means between those two numbers. Okay, so let's move on to geometric series. So geometric series, the formula is the nth term is the first term times the common ratio raised to the power n minus 1. So this is my nth term. This is my first term. This is my common ratio. And n is the number of terms. Okay, so let's find the common ratio and the formula for the nth term of the geometric sequence. So again, here's my first term, my second term, my third term, on and on and on to my nth term. So to get my common ratio, this is going to be any term, and I'm going to divide by the previous term. Okay, so my common ratio here, I'm going to take the second term 6, divided by the first term 3, which is 2. So my nth term, substituting into the equation, is the first term 3 times the common ratio 2 raised to the power n minus 1. Okay. Let's find the 12th term of the geometric sequence. So here's the first term, second term, third term. I want to know what's the 12th term. Okay, so I'm going to find the common ratio. So I'm going to take 15 and divide it by the previous term 5. So I get 3 is my common ratio. So my 12th term, substituting into the equation, is the first term, 5, times my common ratio, 3, to the n minus 1. So 12 minus 1 is 11th power. So putting this in my calculator, I get 885,735. There we go. All right, let's find the 4th term of the geometric sequence. Oh, the 4th term of the geometric sequence is 125, and the 10th term is 125 divided by 64. Find the 14th term. So again, this is going to be a systems of equations. So I'm going to write 2 equations, and I'll have 2 unknowns. So I'm going to start with, is my 4th term, is my first term, I don't know it, and my common ratio raised to the 4 minus 1, so that's 3, and I know this term is 125, so the 4th term is 125. So the 10th term is the first term raised to the 10 minus 1, so that's the 9th power. And I know this term is 125 divided by 64. Okay, so this time to eliminate the first term, I'm going to divide my equations, not add them together. So I'm going to take the second equation and divide it by the first equation. So this is the first term, r cubed, and that equals 125. Okay, so a1 divided by a1, anything divided by itself is 1. So r cubed r to the 9th divided by r cubed is r to the 6th power. And 125 divided by 6. So this is dividing fraction, so I'm going to flip and multiply, right? So this will be 1 over 125. So this is this should say 64, is 1 over 64. Okay, so I am going to take the 6th root because I'm raised to the 6th power, so I want to take the inverse. So to do this in my calculator, I'm going to type in the number 6 first. So you write the index in, and then that'll be math, the math button. And then it's going to be number 5. And you'll see that this is the root here. So then I'm going to put in 1 divided by 64 here. So I'll get r equals 1/2. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to substitute here. So I can solve for the first term now. So this is going to be a1 times 1/2 cubed equals 125. So I'm going to divide 125 divided by 1/2 cubed. And I get 125. I'm sorry, a1 is 1000. So now I can do what I'm trying to do is find the 14th term. So my 14th term is my first term, which is 1000, times the common difference, which is 1/2, raised to the 14 minus 1, which is the 13th power. So this is raising 1/2 to the y to the x of the 13th power. So we usually show this as a fraction. So this is 125 divided by 1024. So don't show it as a decimal, show it as a fraction. So do math, enter, enter. Okay, my last example. The terms between two given terms of a geometric sequence are called the geometric means. So I want to insert 3 geometric means between 5 and 80. So here's 5 and 1, 2, 3. Here's 80. So here's my first term, second term, third term, fourth term, fifth term. So I know that my fifth term, so I'm writing my equation, my fifth term. So I'm using my fifth term here is my first term, which is 5. I do not know the common ratio to the r minus 1, so this is r to the 4th. And I know this term equals 80. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5, so I get r to the 4th equals 16. So I'm going to take the 4th root, just like I did on the previous example, and get r equals 2. I could also rewrite 80 in terms of a number that I'm raising to the 4th power a couple different ways. But so now I'm going to take 5 and multiply that times 2. So that's 10. And I'm going to multiply this times 2, which is 20. And I'm going to multiply that times 2, which is 40. And if I multiply that times 2, I get 80. So these are my 3 geometric means. That's it.